Hi guys, Alex here. Today I have an unscripted video. The time has finally come for us to address the question that we have been marinating in for about a couple of months now, and that is what will become of Peetz of my mind? Well, we finally have some answers, and to be frank, it doesn't look very good at all. And then later on in the video, we're going to be doing a Chantopolis World update. In the previous Girl Talk episode, we talked about how Chantal is giving up everything for her man, including her cats, and leaving Peetz behind as well. We will discuss this recent breakup. Was it just a stunt, or does this recent breakup show just how fragile this relationship is? And Chantal is kind of banking on this working out. If it doesn't work out, what would happen then? I mean, her entire life would seemingly fall apart around her. All that and more coming up on today's video. Let's just get right into it. I mean, shall we? All right, you guys. So the last couple of days in Peetzopolis, Peetz land, excuse that. The last couple of days in Peetz land have been an absolute disaster, but we finally have some answers in regards to the age-old question now, what will become of Peetz of my mind? And I feel like we need to talk about Peetz of my mind. What exactly is going to be happening with Peetz? We have talked at length about his situation with Chantal. He's been living with her since 2020. I remember in the beginning when they first started living there, Chantal even mentioned that she was going to be paying more of the rent because Chantal was doing really good on YouTube. I mean, she had plenty of money to sustain the lifestyle that she had at the time, but in the past couple of months, her income has declined quite drastically because people have just not wanted to really watch her. I think it's because her streams are boring. Now, there is a lot of people that are still interested in hearing what's going on with her, but they're not willing to sit through these monotonous streams for hours on end, being drip fed certain bits and pieces of information. And I think that when it comes to watching Chantal's video, like, you really only need to watch the first 20 minutes. Usually she spills what she has to spill, and then the rest of it, she will just like eat something, and that's like a typical stream for her. But anyways, we got sidetracked. So Foodie Beauty was paying more of the rent the whole time up until, like, I believe it's been about a year or even longer. Peetz actually quit his job at the call center, so he had nothing to contribute, and Chantal was paying all of it. With her dwindling income, it's time for her to cut her losses, and she can't really afford to take care of Peetz anymore. For the last couple of months, she was telling Peetz that she was going to put him up in an apartment, get him a bachelor pad. At least she was going to get him through the front door by paying, I guess, first month, last month, and the security deposit. But that plan has fallen through. I don't think that Chantal can even afford that. I don't think that she owes him that. I mean, that's quite a ridiculous ask. We're talking about $3,000 or more dollars. In this economy, rent is so expensive. It's almost ridiculous that Peetz would fall for this in the first place. But that's where the problem comes in. Even though I don't think that she owes him housing, obviously, she owed it to him to tell him that this was coming. Instead, she led him on for the past 3 months. Now, he should have known better, that he should have got his stuff together before this started happening, because the writing was on the wall there for several months, and people were telling him, Chantal's just not getting the views anymore. This isn't going to happen. You need to figure this out on your own. But on the internet, Chantal was still telling everybody that she was going to get him this apartment until about a couple of days ago, right? It was last week, I believe, she was still talking about this apartment that she was going to get him. And then she broke the news to him that she is just cutting those strings. I mean, it just goes to show you, when someone has nothing to offer her, she will simply sever that relationship, and she'll be back in Peetz's life. If he has something worth taking, she will have no problem taking that. But Peetz has stuck by her side even through all of the awful behavior, when people were telling him, look what Chantal's doing. This goes against everything you believe in. And still he made excuses for her, which is another valid criticism for Peetz. So because of this situation, Chantal backing out on her promises that she made him, he is going to be moving in with his mother. So that's all well and good, right? I mean, she can help him with certain things. He can help her with certain things. Maybe this will be good for Peetz. He'll get away from the toxicity that is Chantal and everything surrounding her. And maybe his mother could offer positive guidance. But there is one glaring issue here. the thing that just makes this so unbelievable. His mother has a 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, so Peetz, he's freaking out. So another thing that people have been talking about that could be an issue is that his mother lives in like a 55 and older community, which it's pretty common around where I live. Nobody's supposed to live there unless they're 55 or older, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Peetz is not. It is an interesting thing to keep in mind there. So Peetz has been throwing himself quite the pity party for the past couple of days in regards to this situation. I'm gonna go ahead and leave some sources down below if you guys want to see for yourself. If you haven't already, it is quite the meltdown. I do have to say it was quite the meltdown. Now, during his live stream called Spaghetti with Veal, he reveals that he's probably not going to be doing live streams anymore, like very seldomly, because his mother has quite the small kitchen. So there will definitely not be any cooking live streams in the future. He laments the fact that he can no longer afford the apartment that he shares with Chantal, and that he's going to be depressed and miserable living with his mother because he's not going to have any privacy at all, because he's going to be sleeping on a couch in the living room, and he's not even going to have his own room to retreat to. Now, Peetz has become quite the hermit this past year, and even before he gave up his job, I believe he was working from home. This man barely ever leaves the house, and he is just used to being alone. I mean, Chantal was away for 3 years, so to give that up, it's going to be quite the shock, right? Peetz does say that he's going to be getting a job probably where his brother works, but he's going to be stuck in Cornwall, which is his hometown, for the rest of his life. So think of this is almost like a trope in a movie. Like, you guys know small towns, some people get stuck there forever, some people move on. Peetz obviously doesn't want to live there. I'm sure there are positives and negatives. We could look on the bright side. I'm sure the rent is a little bit cheaper there, but that's why he's stuck there, right? He will never escape Cornwall, and he does say that they are moving at the end of the month. They already signed papers to get out of there by the end of the month. Chantal is supposed to be going back to Kuwait. I did see on the Chantal and Salah page, she advertised season 2, quote unquote season 2 of Salah and Chantal, and it's coming in March. So she is spending February in Ottawa and then going back to Kuwait, or maybe she's spending some time with her family. I don't know. I think that Chantal is moving back in with family, but she claims that she's going to be living mostly in Kuwait. And if she doesn't have to come back to Canada, she's not going to. She's just going to go to a different country in the Middle East, and then however that works with renewing her visa, right? But looking on the bright side, Peetz says that in the future, when he does save up some money, he can go ahead and get an apartment with his brother. So it doesn't look completely grim. I feel like Peetz is like the most negative person, and really, he hasn't done anything this whole year to improve his situation at all. Like, when people tell him to get help for his upstairs, he just says that he doesn't want to, or he's too lazy to get help. He has talked about transitioning. I don't know if that's something that he wants to pursue, but if that would help him, by all means, do what you need to do to be happy. But Peetz refuses to get any help at all. If he did have like even a part-time job along with his YouTube, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. He might still have to move back to Cornwall, but at least he wouldn't have to be in the living room of his mother's 55 and over apartment. And here is basically Peetz's outlook on this situation.
Here's what's going to happen. I'll spend like 3 months living on my mom's car, or living on my mom's couch. I'll spend 3 months living there while I save up enough money to be able to move out and get an apartment, where I will barely make ends meet and be completely unable to save up enough money to ever be able to move to another city. Like, it's just, I'm going to spend the rest of my life living paycheck to paycheck, never having enough money to do a single thing to make me happy for the rest of my life. I'm going to spend the rest of my life completely goddamn miserable. I'm going to be miserable every single day of the rest of my life. That is the situation that I'm in.
Sweetest pie tomorrow.
So let me know what you guys think in regards to this Peetz situation. He has had a whole year. I feel like Chantal has led him on these past couple of months. I mean, whenever anyone asked him, like, what are you going to be doing about your living situation? Chantal's a married woman. You should know better. She's going to leave you. She's going to dump you. She's never going to want anything to do with you after this situation, because she has her man, and she will definitely drop whoever she needs to drop if it means keeping her man. And they even said, Salah and Chantal, remember a couple months ago, they came on live and Chantal and Salah, well, Salah asserted that she was not going to be living with Peetz, and Chantal just kind of like nodded her head, listening to the things that he was saying. So really, I don't feel bad for Peetz. I feel like the writing has been on the wall. And also the thing is, people have been giving him this advice for several months now, for a year, because there was that time when Chantal was talking about leaving him for Natter just last year. She was going to leave him high and dry. She talked about possibly supporting him as well, but also moving in with Natter at the same time. Now that's not a possibility because the income has kind of dried up and he's going to have to figure out how to make this work. Now he sees himself stuck in Cornwall and just miserable for the rest of his life, but he has to realize things could be even worse. I mean, he could not even have a place to stay. You guys know Chantal would probably just let him go homeless. She doesn't care about anything but herself and keeping this man. I don't even think she really cares about the man. She just cares about having a man and looking like she is desirable. So that's it for our Peetz of My Mind segment. Let me know what you guys think. All right, you guys, so for the rest of the video, we're going to do some general Chantal discussion, discuss what has been going on lately. There has been a lot of nonsense, and it sure was entertaining to watch. First of all, I wanted to discuss, as we did with Peetz, Chantal is moving out of the villa at the end of this month as well. She does plan on either staying with family or going back to Kuwait. Her plan is to go back to Kuwait, but that might not be Salah's plan, as we will get into later in the video. People have been discussing, I saw this very interesting thread on Reddit where they were talking about the villa and how they are going to leave it. A lot of people suspect that Chantal is just going to leave everything there. She's dropping everything. She is quite literally giving up everything for this man. So if this relationship doesn't work out, how is she going to pick up those pieces? She's not even going to have furniture. She's going to have to start from nothing. And she's already not doing that well with her income right now. So that could end up being a complete disaster. Because of Peetz's situation, going to live in his mother's one-bedroom apartment and Chantal going to Kuwait or families, neither of them really have plans to take the things that they left at the villa with them. So are they just going to leave everything behind and let the landlord or the apartment complex take care of business for them because they're too lazy to get rid of it? It is a very sad state of affairs. Chantal most recently weighed in at 354.8. I know some of you might be interested in that. And the other day, she did a now deleted live stream where she came on. It was called It's Over. She was crying. It was so dramatic. She was talking about how she hates herself, saying the marriage is over. But in reality, they got into their first fight. So what made Chantal so upset is that he alluded to not loving her. It was all just ridiculous. I don't even know if that was real or if she was just putting on a show because she knows that drama sells. But if this is real, it tells me that this relationship is so fragile. If this marriage is that easily broken up, is it even a real marriage? Would they have to go through any paperwork to annul this or divorce? Or is it just not real as we suspected? I guess, though, everything is back on. Salah has apologized to her. He even left a comment saying that he was going to hit her when she gets back, and that was alarming, and that was going through the community. There's also rumors that Chantal is feeding him lines, like she'll tell Salah what he should write in the side chat. Specifically, there was a screenshot going around where he was attacking FFG, and it looked like Chantal told him what to say about FFG. So the man can't even come up with his own insults. Or maybe he just doesn't care. Chantal, of course, came on to talk about how this whole situation was just impulsive. Of course, she runs to the internet. She complained about her life being like the Truman Show. But in reality, she's the one that puts all of this online and she can turn the camera off at any time. It's your own doing, girl. Like, you're the one turning on the camera, spilling every small detail about your life, rushing to conclusions about your relationship. She was just so used to using her audience as a diary for this past few years to complain about Natter. It was actually Peetz's birthday yesterday, and supposedly Chantal got him items to make his very own birthday cake, but she refuses to do anything with him. She even alludes to never seeing him again. Like, Foodie Beauty is dropping this relationship, and she's not even really being nice about it. Remember, like, a couple of months back when Peetz was really going through it and talking about some very sensitive things with his audience, and people were telling Chantal to probably get off of live stream and maybe talk to him. And she couldn't even do that. She just acts like it's not my problem. Even though he was always there for her when she got in a pinch. She ran up his credit card. Remember that? He had loaned her so much money in the past. And I realize she can't be there financially right now, but she's completely unavailable with him. She almost acts annoyed in some of the clips that I have seen that he is even there. I bet you Salah is really layering on, like, you need to get out there, you need to get out of there, you need to get out of there behind the scenes. I feel like this point, Chantal has finally gone off the deep end. Her life is completely falling apart around her, and she is acting really upset. You can tell that she is not very happy with her current situation, and she wants to go back to Kuwait. And I think that she feels that in Kuwait, she can run from all of her problems in Canada and just push them off to the side and enjoy this fantasy land that she has built up with Salah. But this shows us this, like, breakup, if it was real, it shows us just how fragile this relationship is and how she's putting all of her eggs into that basket. If this doesn't work out, what is she going to do? Things don't look very good right now. She's still getting rid of the cats. Supposedly they're going to become barnyard cats. She hasn't been on live stream for about 24 hours, which is kind of rare for her. I think that Salah is probably reprimanding her behind the scenes because she spilled the beans about their little fight. I don't know. Her life is like completely in shambles right now. She has a mountain of debt. The debt is going up and the income is going down. So that's not a very good situation to be in. She wants to be with her, quote, husband in Kuwait, but she is stuck in Canada for the time being, trying to figure out a way out of this. She thinks that she can just run away from all of her problems, but really they're going to follow her wherever she goes, especially because she is such a well-known public figure. Wink, wink. Really, I feel like we are kind of on the cusp of something. Like, it is almost make or break right now. Will she go back to Kuwait? Is this whole arc going to fall apart? We are kind of at a crossroads. Like, it could go one way where she just like escapes to Kuwait and this is all like brushed under the rug and she gets away with everything as per usual. But I do think she's going to leave everything behind in the villa, blame it all on Peetz, put all of that on him, and leave the country. At least that's what she's planning on doing now. She has been indulging in quite a bit of cheese lately. I think that she said that she wants to lose weight, but that's not really happening because she is eating because she is not in the best state of mind right now. What do you guys think? Do you think that she's going to go back to Kuwait? I know I did a poll on one of my live streams and most people expected that she wasn't ever going to go back. So I apologize if my lips look a little weird. I keep putting on like a ton of chapstick because my lips are like really chapped just on the edges. Leave me like some tips down below. I know you guys always have the tea when it comes to like skincare and stuff like that. Odd ask, but we're desperate. It's so weird in regards to this situation with Peetz because even in her latest live stream, she admits that she's probably not going to see him again. Like, this is it for her and Peetz. They've been friends for so many years. And at the same time, she's kind of using her religion as a reason not to ever see him again. But I don't think, like, it's just weird. And I feel bad for the people that are seeing her misrepresent their religion because that's got to be really annoying for you guys. So I apologize on behalf of her. And I'm also sorry if I sound ignorant discussing these topics because I have really been trying to learn, but it's not something that I knew too much about until this arc with Chantal, and learning from her is definitely not the way to go. I have turned to Google, of course, but like I said, her life is in shambles. I don't know where this is headed. I am not a fortune teller, although this situation with Peetz of my mind really stinks. I mean, think about that. Living in a one bedroom, like there's no privacy. There's absolutely no privacy. How is he going to take care of himself? Okay, that's enough. We're done. Where do you guys see this going? I feel like there could be a climax soon. Things don't look the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.